Hello 10th class students. Today we will continue our previous chapter number 3, metals and non-metals in 10th class science subject. Let's start students, and our topic for this video is how do metals and non-metals react together. How do metals and non-metals reacts. In previous video we have seen that metals react with acid and bases and water, but in this video we will see that how metals react with other non-metals. Students, in 9th class you have learned about the electronic configuration of the element. Electronic configuration, that means distribution of the electron in different shell. Let's recall it at a glance in a short. You have studied about the noble gases, the electronic configuration of the noble gases. Noble gases, that means the gases which have completely filled their outermost shell. The main noble gases are helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, etc. But in short we will see the electronic configuration of helium, neon and argon only. You have learned about the different shells, that is K shell, L shell, M shell and N shell. The shell which are present around the nucleus of the atom. You see, if this is the structure of the atom and this is the nucleus in which proton and neutrons are present, which is positively charged, then this is our K shell, L, M and N shell, and in this shell the electrons are present. So students, if we see the distribution of the electrons in noble gases, then we see that the atomic number of helium is 2, neon is 10 and argon is 18. Let's see the electronic distribution. K shell can occupy 2 electrons and all that 2 electrons will go into K shell and pairing of the electrons takes place. That is why helium is noble gas, it is inert gas which do not react with the other gas easily. Neon, atomic number 10, 2 and 8. As you know students that in order to get the stability, the element needs the stable configuration. Stable configuration, that means in their outermost shell total 8 number of electrons can be fulfilled, and if any element have 8 number of electrons in their outermost shell, it is considered as to be very stable. It needs not to lose the electron and neither to gain the electron. So in this case, in the case of neon gas, the L subshell or L shell has 8 electrons. So it is stable. If we talk about the argon, then its electronic configuration is 2, 8, 8. Total 18 number of electrons are there. So here we see that M is the outermost shell, and in outermost shell already 8 electrons are filled. That is why argon is also noble gas, it is a highly stable gas. But students, if we talk about the electronic configuration of the metals, let's take some example of the metals. Here it is above this line all gases are the noble gases, but if we see the electronic configuration of sodium Na, magnesium Mg, aluminium Al, potassium K and calcium Ca. These are the main metals. Let's see their atomic number. Atomic number of sodium is 11, magnesium is 12, aluminium is 13, potassium is 19 and that of the calcium is 20. Now if we see their electronic configuration, then 11 atom will distributed as 2, 8, total 10 plus 1 is remaining, that is in M shell. Magnesium, total number of electrons are 12, 2, 8 and 2. And in the same way 13, 2, 8, 3. If we take the electronic configuration of the potassium, that is K, total number of electrons 19, then 2, 8, 8, 18 and 1, 19. That of the calcium, total number of electrons are 20, then its electronic configuration will be 2, 8, 8 and 2. Now students, just recall that in order to get the stability, atoms need the stable electronic configuration, and that is total 8 number of electrons should be there in their outermost shell. We call it the octave rule. Now you can see that if there is 1, 2, 3 or 1 or 2 electrons are there in the outermost shell, then in order to complete the octet, these atoms either can gain the more electrons which needed to complete the 8 electrons, or they can lose the electrons in order to make the L shell the outermost shell. Here if we talk about the sodium, then if sodium gets 7 more electrons, then its electronic configuration will be 2, 8, 8. If magnesium gain 6 more electrons, then its electronic configuration will be 2, 8, 8, because 2 electrons are already there. In order to complete the octet, in order to complete the 8 electron in outermost shell, magnesium needs 6 more electron, and in the same way aluminium needs 5 more electrons. But students, there are 2 ways by which these atoms can complete the 8 electrons. They can either lose the 1 electron. Sodium can lose 1 electron. If it loses the 1 electron, then its outermost shell will not be M, but now the outermost shell is L, and there is 8 number of electrons are there in L shell. So instead of gaining 7 electrons, it is easy for sodium to lose 1 electron. So they prefer to lose the electrons. So metals always loses the electron in order to get stability. Now let's understand the electronic configuration of the non-metals also. In non-metal we see mainly nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, phosphorus, sulfur and chlorine. Let's see their electronic configuration. Let's see their atomic number. Atomic number of nitrogen, you know, it is 7, oxygen 8, fluorine 9, phosphorus 15, sulfur 16 and that of chlorine are 17. Now see, the electronic configuration for 7 is 2, and 5. Total number of electrons 7 completed. And the outermost shell that come is L shell. Oxygen 2, 6. Fluorine 2, 7. Now phosphorus total 15. Then 2 and 8 will be complete, and the last electron left number of electrons are 5. It is 15. Sulfur 16, 2, 8 and 6. Now fluorine 2, 8, 7. Now students, you can see that the number of electrons present in outermost shell are 5, 6, 7. Now in order to get a stable electronic configuration, they need some more electrons in order to complete the 8 electron in outermost shell. Either they can gain the electron or lose the electron, but instead of losing the 5 electrons or 6 electrons, it is easy to gain 3 or 2 electrons. So non-metals from here, nitrogen, they prefer to gain the electrons. Chlorine only need 1 electron in order to get stable electronic configuration, and here if we consider the sodium, then sodium need to lose 1 electron in order to complete its octet. So students, you have learned that the total number of proton and electrons are equal in any atom. If you consider the example of sodium, then number of proton inside its nucleus are 11, and total 11 number of electrons are there outside the nucleus. So the charge, positive and negative charge, get balanced by each other. But if sodium loses 1 electron, then total number of electron in sodium atom will be 10. So there will be 1 effectively positive charge. So we write sodium as Na plus. And students, if this chlorine accept that electron, if this chlorine accept either the electron donated by the sodium or by other element, then take this example here. If the total number of proton inside the nucleus of the chlorine are 17 and total number of electrons outside the nucleus of the chlorine are 17, and if it receives 1 more electron, then total number of electrons in chlorine atom will be 18. So the effect of 17 negative electron will be cancelled out by the 17 positive proton, but there will be effective 1 negative charge will be there due course of the presence of the extra electron. So we write chlorine as Cl minus. And you know students that any atom which have charge on it, either positive or negative, we call them ion. So if any atom that have negative charge, it is called anion, and any atom that have positive charge are called cation. So here the anion of the chlorine is formed, and here cation of the sodium is formed. These ions are formed either by gaining the electron or losing the electron. Whenever any atom loses the electron, then effective positive charge on that atom increases and it forms the cation. And whenever any atom that receives the electron, effective negative charge increases on it, and a result will be the formation of the anion. So students, now we see that how these metals and non-metals react together. These metals and non-metals react together by the formation of the ion or by exchanging of the electrons. Let's see how. Let's take an example of the formation of sodium chloride molecule. In the formula of sodium chloride is NaCl. Now see that sodium Na that have the electronic configuration 281. Its electronic configuration is 2, 8 and 1. Now students, it loses one electron and become Na plus, and it will also result one electron. If one electron is removed from sodium ion, sodium atom, then it will make sodium ion, and the electronic configuration of the sodium ion will be 2 and 8, because one electron is removed from the sodium atom. Now secondary, if chlorine atom receives this electron, then chlorine atom become Cl minus. Why it will be Cl minus? Because one negative charge due to this electron will increase, so this make chlorine minus ion. Now students, this sodium plus positive charge and this negatively charged chlorine ion Na plus plus Cl minus will combine together to form NaCl. Now you can see students, this is sodium ion and this is chloride ion or chlorine ion. They combine together to form NaCl, one compound. So all the compounds that are formed due to combination of the ions are known as ionic compounds. Ionic compounds are those compounds which form by the combination of different ions. So students, let's see what are the properties of ionic compounds. Ionic compounds possess some different properties. Let's understand them. What are the properties of the ionic compounds? Before understanding the property of the ionic compound, let's understand one more example of the formation of magnesium chloride, that how the magnesium chloride form. Here you see students that electronic configuration of magnesium, total electron number are 12, 282. So students, magnesium can lose 2 electrons. We have seen in case of sodium, sodium was losing only 1 electron, but here the magnesium will lose 2 electrons. How? See here. Mg magnesium, its electronic configuration is 282. Now if it loses 2 electrons, then there will be 2 positive charge on it, and we call it magnesium 2 plus. Mg 2 plus plus 2 electron will be removed from this. Now if we see, one chlorine atom can accept only 1 electron, so there will be requirement of 2 chlorine atoms in order to accept these 2 electrons. So here 2 chlorine molecules or 2 chlorine atoms that will accept these 2 electrons and form 2 Cl minus ions. 2 chloride ions will be formed. Now this Mg2 plus this 2 electrons of negatively charged combined together, these 2 chloride ions, 2 Cl minus ion will combine together to form MgCl2. Magnesium dichloride molecule will be formed by this combination. Okay students, now let's see the properties of the ionic compounds, the compounds that are forming by the combination of the ions. We will see main 4 properties of the ionic compounds. The very first property of the ionic compound is, students, their physical nature. If we talk about the physical nature of the ionic compounds, then they are generally solid and hard. The reason behind solid and hard is that the ionic force of attraction is very high. Due course of the high ionic force of attraction, they becomes solid and hard in nature. Second point is their melting and boiling point. Meaning of melting and boiling point is that, students, the temperature at which whenever we heat the ionic compound, then they melt, they convert into liquid. That temperature is known as their melting point, and the temperature on which they start converting into vapor, that temperature is known as their boiling point, when the temperature on which they start boiling. So student, if these are solids, then they generally have high melting and boiling point. High melting and boiling point. Next student, third point is their electrical conductivity of ionic compounds. So students, they are generally good conductor of electricity in their molten form, in their dilution form, because in solid form the cation and anion combine together to form the neutral molecule, but whenever we dissolve them in a liquid, then they get break down in the form of their constituent ion, and that ions are responsible for conduction of the electricity. So they are good conductor of the electricity in their molten form. Good conductor in solution form, because they behave like an electrolyte. Next is, students, their solubility. Fourth, solubility of the ionic compounds. Students, these ionic compounds are generally soluble in water, but they are insoluble in non-polar solvent like kerosene, petrol, etc. If we take the example of the sodium chloride, that is our common salt, then our common salt can easily be dissolved in water. So, in terms of solubility, they are soluble in water, which is known as polar solvent, but insoluble in kerosene, petrol, etc. So students, these are the major properties of the ionic compounds that differentiate them from the other compounds. So students, in this video we have discussed that how and why the metals reacts with non-metals, the compound formed by the combination of the metal and non-metals, that is ionic compounds, and their properties. What are the properties of the ionic compounds?